Okay, so I finished all the stuff yesterday that I was supposed to finish. Um, I started attaching the front panels to the yoke as well. Uh, so what we'll do is normally I do the facing first before I attach the yoke. I actually don't know why I did it, but in any case, now I already started attaching the yoke. So what we're going to do is we're going to first do the facing now. I actually made a mistake. I should have waited. I should have attached the facing first and then do the yoke. But it doesn't matter. We'll do the yoke. We'll add the back panel to the yoke um, later. It makes it a little bit more difficult now because now you sit with two pieces of cloth plus the yoke, the two front panels plus the yoke, and so it's just I don't know why I didn't follow the steps that I created. It was just yeah. So normally, what I used to do, there's a lot of methods that you can attach the front facing to the front panel and then integrate it into the to the this shoulder yoke seam on top. And all the methods that they show on the internet basically says you must say you must attach the front the facing to the front panel, and then you do the yoke, and then afterwards when you turn the facing to the inside, you then sort of do a stitch afterwards to attach it to the yoke part and to this shoulders seam here. I didn't like that because then it means this thing is like not integrated into the into the into the panel. But if you do that and you integrate this part into the yoke and the front panel, then you you have to attach the collar separately on top of everything. Yeah. So now what I do is I follow that method. There's about four methods that you can do this. So what I'm doing now is I just integrate this part of the facing afterwards with the top stitch that I do here. So then there's no separate stitch and it still looks nice. I've tried all of the methods, and I think if you integrate it with a top stitch, it is sort of the best, because then your collar still looks neat at the end of the day. But it is a personal taste. It's just pure personal taste that you do here. Um, but I think I've settled the method now that I want to do and that I'm sort of happy with, and that it's not fully integrated, but it looks good at the end of the day. So I think I'm happy sort of with this method. Um, and it's also easy and fast to do it like this. So I think it will it will look better. But yeah, so this is the problem that you sit with now is if you do the yokes and you do the facing afterwards, then sort of you sit here with a whole bunch of cloth that just gets in your way. You can just easily have sewn on the interfacing of the front facing and then onto the front panel, and then everything would have been sorted easily. But okay, I made a mistake there. I was my mind wasn't fully with this stuff, but that's also why I write down the process, so that you know, you can always refer back to the process, and it's not only to make stuff more efficient, it's just a way to refer back to everything. And because you can make mistakes, there is a lot of steps in this process of creating the shirt, so it is possible to make mistakes. But in this case, it wasn't really. It's just the one part now just comes after the other part. But it is easier if you do the facing first, and then you do the because now what we need to do is we still need to iron it, and it will still be easy because there's, at least we haven't attached the back panel yet, so we still need to iron it on, and then iron this. So what we do is we iron the seam open like this or to the back, and then we turn it, and then we get a nice clean fold. But that is one of the things, if your mind is not always with the work and you've got lots of other nonsense on your brain, then you can make mistakes. I must say this, these safari shirts are taking longer than what I wanted it to take. But I think it's also because of the videos, you know. The videos help a little bit with the marketing and so on. So it's so so the shirts take a little bit longer. I think what I will do in future as well is I will make a few. If I do the black safari shirts, what I'll do is I'll make a few videos on how exactly to do all of the stuff, so that one can see more easily how the things are done. For those people that are interested in the exact method and the exact, but now the past few videos was more about the process and how to put it together. But I will make a few videos in the future when I do the black safari shirts on exactly how to cut it and how to do it and the pattern that I use. And then those who are watching can get a better feel for if they want to create their own safari shirts. You can basically use any pattern to adapt any shirt pattern to create the safari shirts. You just have to add a few things. Let's just check this out now and make sure I didn't make a mistake here now again. Okay, so everything there is fine. It will fold over, and it will go to the inside. Now let's do this part. You know, these things, I'm happy with this. It's going to fold inside, and this one is going to fold that side. So this is correct. I'm happy with I finished the tags yesterday also on the yolks, and I think they look really nice. It turned out good. The other thing with the front facing is normally when you do shirts, they put on the front facing, they put interfacing, yeah, the iron on interfacing for the whole for the whole for the whole for the whole part, yeah. And I don't like that. You have to do it when you work with thin material, but or a thinner textile, but with the, for this it is fine for the Rami linen. So I just put a thin strip of interfacing on the edge where I overlock the edge so that it doesn't raffle and and pucker. So because the tension on the overlocker is high, and then what will happen is if you put the linen through, it will pucker. So I just put a small strip of interfacing there because I don't like the look and feel of it. I don't like it when you when by accident maybe you turn this part around and then you see this white interfacing. It doesn't look good. So I just put a small strip there, and then when you do the buttonholes and you do the buttons, then it sort of stay in place, and you don't really see this part. I just don't like it. It takes away some of the character of the shirt. So, but you have to put a small strip there because otherwise you get this puckering and this whole thing doesn't look good. But yeah, but sometimes I put the whole strip. I've made shirts for myself. I think I've mentioned it, where I put interfacing with a iron on for the whole front. If you do that front placket for the shirts, you get another type of shirt where you put a placket here where the button comes. There you have to do interfacing as well, but you can't see it. The other thing with this interfacing, if it's not quality interfacing, it can come loose over time. That's why I also don't like it. It's difficult to find here with us good quality interfacing. But yeah. So I'm going to finish these shirts. I think what we'll do is there's not a lot to do now. It's just these few things, and then I think what we'll do is we'll make a video again when I do the buttonholes using that domestic machine. But I just wanted to make a video on this quickly so that we can so when you turn this front facing now, like I said, you could integrate it into the collar and the yoke, into the yoke, and that is the best method. It looks the best, but the problem is you're going to struggle then to finish up the collar here. You have to attach the collar on top, whereas if you don't integrate it like that and you attach your collar and then later on it gets turned inside like this, and then when you do the top stitching for the entire yoke up here, you just top stitch there straight, and then it also looks fine. And that is the method that I've decided now on at the end of the day. Um, but one must always practice and see and change it and see other ways, and eventually you find something that you are happy with. Maybe I will still change it in future, but not now. I'm happy sort of if we do it like this. We do a top stitch there. Um, of course, it's on that side, but you do a stitch there, then it is nicely integrated and it is part of it. Some other videos show you do a separate stitch here, but you don't do a separate stitch, because then what happens is you have to do hand sewing here for a small part and that, and it takes time and it doesn't look good. The best way is to, if you do a top stitch here for your shirt, to make sure that you integrate this, and that means that this part needs to be long enough so that I know some patterns, they cut it here and then there's only a centimeter left to turn, and it doesn't work. You need to make it longer, and then, but I will do detailed videos on this. It's not just my experience. I don't have formal training in this. I'm sure in factories they do other methods that are much more easier, but it is not just my experience and the way I do it. So I will make, if there's anybody out there that knows a better method, then they're welcome to leave it in the comment section, because there is always better better methods out there. One can always improve on your stuff, but I will make more detailed videos, I think, in the future on when I do the black safari shirts. Yeah, today's a lovely day again. Okay, so yeah.